edition, here's a look at tonight's top stories.
Prime Minister Davis calls for Commonwealth unity against climate change in Samoa. Plus, mystery deepens in Grand Bahama as families seek answers for missing loved ones. And later, a Bahamian woman loses her home after placing her mother in an elderly care facility. The details are straight ahead.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition start now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Raven Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. When the Commonwealth acts as one, it can bend the arc of history. That was the focus of Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis's intervention at the Commonwealth Heads of Government Commonwealth Business Forum in Samoa. The Prime Minister, who addressed the forum, says the Commonwealth's strength is its diversity and vast talent pool. But he says financial barriers is one of the greatest challenges facing small island developing states.
Without adequate funding, how can we invest in the infrastructure, education, and healthcare that are essential for development? How can we support our entrepreneurs, our innovators, and our visionaries if they cannot access the capital they need to bring their idea to life? Imagine the profound injustice of having to shoulder the burden of a climate crisis we did not create. A crisis that threatens to swallow our coastlines, devastate our culture, and disrupt the very livelihoods of our people. Imagine the shockwaves of a global pandemic, knowing that while some nations had seamless access to life-saving vaccines, others faced hurdles that left millions vulnerable and unprotected.
This year's meeting is the 27th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. The theme of this year's business forum is One Resilient Common Future, Transforming Our Commonwealth. That, the Prime Minister says, is a call to action, challenging the body to be bold. He says the Commonwealth is at a pivotal moment and must adapt to ensure economies are resilient in a changing world.
Imagine a network where talent flows freely, where entrepreneurs in Barbados can seamlessly connect with an investor in Kenya, or where a small business in Trinidad can find partners in India without barriers. By breaking down the obstacles that limit trade and innovation and fostering a culture of collaboration, we can ensure that opportunity and success are shared across all of our member states. When we say Commonwealth, this truly mean a community where wealth, knowledge, and opportunity are accessible to all. Imagine a Commonwealth that is not just united in name, but united in purpose.
In other news, a number of individuals on Grand Bahama remain missing, raising growing concerns among family and friends about their loved ones disappearing without a trace. Tonight, the officer in charge of CID is providing an update. Julanda Thompson-Everest reports.
There is still no sign of relief for families of individuals reported missing between 2022 and now. Chief Superintendent of Police, Detective Darrell Ware, who oversees crime management operations in the Northern Bahamas, acknowledging the frustration of family and friends. He reassures the public that the Royal Bahamas Police Force is committed to locating the missing persons and notes that a special task force has been assigned to the case and is also working diligently to provide the community with answers.
We're currently looking at all missing person matters that have been reported to us over this year and the past years. The Grand Bahama community has been assisting us greatly with any information they have gathered, and they've carried over to us. But we again appealing to the general public who might have any information related to any person that is missing to reach out to us at 350-3106 or any of the nearest police station or any officer or person in the community you deem fit get the information to us.
Detective stresses that police officers cannot do it alone and will need the help of the community.
Well, like I say, we are here, we are serving of the people, and we are doing all within our powers to bring closure to these matters. And like I say, this is a collective situation where everybody, the general public and us as law enforcement officers, to try to bring closure to these matters. It's not a matter where the police we want. We're doing all within our powers to try to bring closure, but we must do it in conjunction with the general public and persons who have lost ones that are currently missing.
The chief superintendent asserts that the public plays a crucial role in ensuring the safety of their loved ones, especially senior citizens at home. When questioned about the concerns regarding a potential serial killer or human trafficking connection to the missing person cases, Ware firmly states that there are no statistics or evidence supporting those claims. He urges the community to remain vigilant and continue assisting law enforcement officers with any information that could aid in the ongoing investigations.
We have nothing to suggest something of that sort. We have nothing that no data or no statistics to say we have this type of thing going on in our country. All again, like I said, we as native persons that have lost ones and who may have either person being lost and reach out to us.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson, Everest.
Just one station.
It is a story you will only hear on ZNS. A Bahamian woman loses her home and all rights to her mother after placing her in an elderly care facility. In this investigative report, our Ramiko Knowles tells us that the 30-year-old mother is sharing her story in hopes of receiving justice.
30-year-old Philippa Carey grew up with her grandparents in Bahamia. Sadly, on her birthday last year, October 30th, her grandfather passed away, leaving her solely responsible for caring for her grandmother, Ingrid Carey, who she refers to as her mother. Recently, Philippa received a job offer off island and hired caretakers to look after her mother, whom she says is showing signs of dementia.
From I was a little girl, I know her not to be 100%. I mean, she's a sweet person and everything, but she's not 100% there.
After accepting the job offer off island, she hired caretakers to look after her mother. Only she says they quit after a few days, citing the difficulty of managing her mother's challenging care needs.
They'd come for a day or two and we'd never hear back from them again. So when I got the job offer, I said, okay, well, mommy, the best way is to put you in home for a little bit. Then we go work, make money. And when you're in the home, you'll have that care that you need.
In December of 2023, Philippa made the difficult decision to place her mother at the Home Away from Home elderly care facility owned by Murphy Knowles. Unfortunately, that choice took a turn for the worse. A few months later, when Philippa returned home for a visit, she was shocked to find out that she no longer had a home. Murphy Knowles, the owner of the care facility, had moved into her house.
I said, where's my mommy? Oh, your mommy is at the home. I said, my mommy is at the home. How you get here? She's like, oh, well, I don't have any answers to give you because whatever we're doing is what your mommy requested. I said, how could she request me of this if you're living in our house and she's living inside of the home? It doesn't make sense to me. So she didn't want to give me any more answers further. So she closed the door. So I went to the police station myself.
Philippa was escorted back to her home by police, only to discover that her mother had signed the house over to Murphy Knowles.
She signed over her NIB pension, the full amount. She signed over the survivor's death benefit for my father. And then she also gave them power of attorney over her. I have to rent an Airbnb or stay by friends or stay in a hotel just so I can be home. And it's not fair to me because that's the only place I lived my whole life. And a stranger came and it just took everything away.
The situation escalates even further. One night, Philippa says she received a distressing call from her mother, prompting her to rush to the elderly care facility with emergency medical technicians. However, when they arrived, no answers were given as the owner of the home had legal rights over her mother.
The only thing the EMT told me, she was like, go get yourself a lawyer. She said, because in your mom's mental state that she is, it isn't right that somebody could give themselves power of turnover and you know nothing about it.
Philippa has since hired an attorney, and now all she wants is justice. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Ramiko Knowles.
Now, ZNS News reached out to Murphy Knowles, owner of Home Away from Home, for her response regarding the situation involving the Carey family. Knowles confirmed that she is currently residing in the Careys' home, stating that the home's owner pleaded with her to take ownership of the property.
After she keep on pressuring me and she keep on saying, Ms. Knowles, if you don't take the house, I'm going to give it to somebody else. She say, I'm serious about it. I say, were you really, really serious about this? She say, Miss North, what I can do with it? I can't take care of the house. I can't take care of nobody. What I can do with it? When you doing something. She said, you want it? Okay, Ingrid, let's go. I said, well, who lawyer you want me to go to? And she told me the lawyer. Take her to the lawyer. The lawyer questioned her on every ground you could think about.
Murphy Knowles explained that multiple medical and psychiatric professionals interviewed the homeowner to ensure she was in a sound state of mind before agreeing to sign over the property.
She even did a life insurance also too, why I wasn't there and put my name on her life insurance. She said, Miss Knowles, if I should die, I want you to make sure I have a decent burial. She said, do the power of attorney. I said, you want a power of attorney? She said, yes, do it. This was her choice. The psychiatric doctors been there telling me to bring her in. They even questioned her and they said, Miss Knowles, there's nothing wrong with her. This was Miss Ingrid's choice. I had nothing to do with that.
Well, it's an inspiring story. Two brothers on the path to success. 10-year-old Renard Mader and 13-year-old Ronaldo Mader have both been appointed head boys at Sister Mary Patricia Junior High School and Morrismore Primary School, respectively. They shared with our Julanda Thompson Everest how their family, particularly their mother, encouraged them to strive beyond their dreams.
At just 10 and 13 years old, Renard and Ronaldo Mader have officially made their marks at their schools by being appointed as head boys. It all began with a speech competition to determine the suitable candidates at Sister Mary Patricia Junior High School and Morrismore Primary School. To their surprise, they were both selected for the roles.
When I saw my letter, I had flipped it open, but I didn't want to open it. And when I finally saw it, head boy, like all of everything just flicked off and flicked back on, because this is something that I've always wanted.
And then I thought it was the deputy, but then I actually was head. And then I was so excited, and when my classmates came back, when I came back into the class, my classmates asked me what I got, and then I told them that I was the head boy of the school.
Both brothers have officially been installed in their roles and proudly wear their head boy pins, reflecting on the hard work that has brought them this far. The eldest, Ronaldo, who wasn't in the first category, admitted feeling a bit anxious, but maintained his faith, believing the title was well-deserved. He shares a heartfelt message to his mother.
I just was happy, not for myself, but for my mother, because she was there for me. She supported me, and she wanted me to get this because how bad I wanted it.
Renard and Ronaldo leave behind these encouraging words for students who may be following in their footsteps. Believe in yourselves, work hard, and never give up on your dreams. With determination and support from your loved ones, you can achieve anything.
There will be challenges, but never give up, because you can always strive for the top, and you can succeed.
Even when somebody is holding you down from doing one of your accomplishments or one of your goals, never let them discourage you from what you want to do. Because one time, somebody had forced me down and pushed me down from my role as head boy, and I never gave up, and I showed them that I was the right person for this role.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Julanda Thompson, Everest.
And still to come.
The Pro Cathedral of Christ the King celebrating their priest's 40th anniversary in grand style. That story and sports highlights when we return.
You have enough things to worry about. Living in a world that can seem opposite of the things you are trying to accomplish.
I can need a little help with this month.
We're here to let you know that you don't have to go at it alone. Choose peace of mind. Choose comfort. Choose CB. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Dolly Madison is having a 2-day store citywide sale on October 25th and 26th for their 2-year anniversary under new ownership. Get up to 25% off on a variety of items, from household to hardware, you name it. Sale hours on Friday will be from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's Dolly Madison's 2-year anniversary sale. Up to 25% off. You don't want to miss it. Dolly Madison.
Join the Ruby Jubilee celebrations honoring Reverend Canon Norman Lightbourne on his 40th anniversary of ordination. The banquet is Friday, October 25th, 7 p.m. at the Grand Lacayan Resort. Tickets are $125. The service follows on Sunday, October 27th at 4 p.m. Third Dimension construction will be closed from Wednesday, October 23rd to Friday, October 25th. Stay tuned in for more information on reopening and exciting updates. Third Dimension thanks you for your support, understanding, and patience.
Here at Freeport Decorators, we have hundreds of products for you to choose from. Whether you're in the market for trophies, plaques, rubber stamps, corporate signs, any kind of interior signage, stamps, or seals, we're your one-stop shop. We feature glass, acrylic, crystal awards for every occasion. We build all the trophies here on site. Looking for a gift item? We feature pens, key rings, mugs, tumblers, barbecue tools, even bamboo cutting boards. Have something already? Bring it on down. Let us see if we can print that special something on it for you. Need a headstone? Memorialize the memory of your loved one with a beautifully lasered granite marker. Our store hours are Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We focus on customization. So if you have an idea or a new concept, bring it on down or call us at 352-5557 or even WhatsApp your idea to us at 646-0777 and we will do our best to make your awards and recognition ideas a reality.
Your #1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. The Pearl Cathedral of Christ the King is honoring Canon Norman Lightbourne's 40 years of priesthood with a weekend filled with celebrations. To kick off the festivities, committee members are hosting a gala to commemorate the Ruby Jubilee of their beloved priest.
Which begins on the 25th, indeed, with the anniversary banquet that will take place here in Grand Bahama at the Isle of Gaia Hotel. That will be on the Friday, the 25th of October of this month. And then following that will be a grander celebration of the Holy Eucharist on the Sunday, the 27th at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Will be
Committee members for the event expressing excitement for their priest, who has served at a number of churches throughout the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands.
Congregation here at the Pearl Cathedral, we are just so happy to be able to celebrate this Ruby Jubilee milestone with him and his family, and we're looking forward to welcoming persons that would have been with him throughout the journey, starting from Turks and Caicos Islands into the islands of the Bahamas, of course. We would love to see persons here in Grand Bahama coming out in full force.
Truly excited. 400 persons already confirmed for our gala banquet, so we know it's a big event.
In other news, Abaco-based environmental group Friends of the Environment has released a new teacher's resource guide as it continues its efforts to create young environmental stewards. The aim of the organization is to preserve Abaco's environment through education, conservation, and research facilitation. The group's outreach coordinator, Lindy Shikari, presenting a number of books to Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson to be shared among her membership.
Ecosystems of the Bahamas is designed for high school teachers, but would be appropriate reference material for anyone wishing to learn about the Bahamian environment. The guide features the major Bahamian ecosystems, highlighting key species, ecosystem services, threats, and conservation measures. Specifically for teachers, the guide includes sample classroom and field activities and field trip suggestions. We are very thankful for Mrs. Belinda Wilson here at Bahamas Union of Teachers for assisting us with distributing our guide nationwide.
Wilson says the book will be a valuable tool for educators, and she's pleased to partner with the group to get it out.
I must say that this book, I believe, is going to go a long way for our teachers, especially those in the field of science and And you know that the whole global phenomenon now is climate change. So I believe that this will assist our teachers in being able to teach our children about, like you said, the book highlights the species, the ecosystem, and we look forward to distributing these on behalf of Friends for the Environment.
Switching gears now, the Heroic Group Limited is expanding their production. In March of this year, the company launched their concrete production plant. Now they are moving into block production. Sydney Smith, the brand and community relations lead at Heroic Limited Group, says that with their products, they strive for the best quality.
Less than 30 days, we will begin selling blocks. I know that's a highly anticipated product for us at Heroic Concrete and Concrete Products. So I am looking forward to seeing all of our customers, all of our contractors who are really just wanting to see those on the island.
Smith says that the block production plant is able to produce around 8,000 blocks per day.
I think one of the great things about our plant is we have a high production capacity. We'll be able to produce 1,000 blocks per hour. So in a course of a day, we'll be able to produce a significant amount of blocks that really will service our island and other islands across the Bahamas.
And that's a look at stories making news. Jay, what's coming up in sports?
Raven, a major tennis tournament set for this weekend at the YMCA. I hope to see you there on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. All right, well, sports is up next, but first a look at the local weather forecast.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Cause it's so beautiful.
One of the biggest decisions you will make when remodeling a kitchen is the design choice for your kitchen cabinets. Whether you want your kitchen to look modern or traditional, the Casablanca White Shaker cabinets will make a sound choice. Stop into Conard Bahamas today and let them enhance your kitchen with the Casablanca White Shaker cabinets. At Conard Bahamas, they also carry an array of Calacatta quartz countertops. Conard Bahamas, Sandy Port Nassau, Freeport Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Eleuthera.
The Grand Bahama Christian Council presents an island-wide crusade, Saturday, October 26th at 3 p.m. at Frank's Ice Cream Plaza. Prayer, testimonies, worship, fellowship, the word, and more.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm self-insuring my investments, starting with this tarp.
We all remember the blue tarps after the storm. Let's make sure that we are covered with more than a tarp. Don't allow your investment to be at risk. Protect your investment with one of our insurance policies. Nobody does it better.
This is where it happens. Those moments that impact our lives. Giving you the information that you need this hurricane season. Wherever there is news, we're there.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports. First in sports, another major junior national tennis tournament scheduled for this weekend on Grand Bahama. Here's Shane Stubbs with more on that.
Over 40 junior tennis players from around the country will descend upon the YMCA this Saturday, October 26th to the 29th for the Focal Junior Tennis Tourney. Coming off the success of the Flawless Construction Tournament, GBTA executive Lisa Clark believes that was just the foundation for an action-packed event this weekend.
We have juniors from Exuma, Eleuthera, Abaco, and of course Nassau. We have the age groups from 12, 14, 16 to 18.
And here's Greg LaRoda on the implications each match has.
This is our last tournament for the year on Grand Bahama, where the juniors will have an opportunity to compete for national points. We have 3 such tournaments on Grand Bahama. The others are held in Nassau, so the local players has to take advantage of this opportunity because they want to get as much points as possible.
The tournament kicks off at 8 a.m. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Next in sports, Bahamian legendary boxer Romeo Brennan was honored in London at the Commonwealth Boxing Council's 70th anniversary. On hand to receive the award on his behalf was Bahamas Boxing Commission Chairman Fred Stirrup.
One of the top items on the agenda was Romeo Brennan, believed to be the only living former champion of the Commonwealth. He was honored with a special award, and I was there to receive that on his behalf. Romeo is 85 and still living in Florida. I represented the Bahamas Boxing Commission, of course, spoke and gave remarks on behalf of the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. But it was a wonderful occasion, and we appreciate the fact that Romeo was given his award by the CBC and was able to smell his roses while he's still alive.
And finally, in sports, over in Bimini, Louis McDonald defeated Gateway in 3 sets in girls volleyball, taking the final and deciding set 15-6. Ladies and gents, that is your quick check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. Be blessed.
Champagne and the Rhythm presents 102.7 The Rhythm turns 3, and it's a big performance with Taurus Riley live. Taurus Riley live. Oh yeah, the hitmaker, the reggae icon, Taurus Riley live. Saturday, December 14th at the Grand Lucayan Ballroom. Doors open at 8 p.m., showtime at 11 p.m. For 102.7 The Rhythm. Big birthday party with Taurus Riley. Live. Get tickets online now. TheRhythm3.com. And it's a big performance. Taurus Riley. Brought to you by Jade Champagne and The Rhythm. Saturday, December 14th, 102.7 The Rhythm. Turns 3 with Taurus Riley. Live.
It's the Battle of the Brains, 20 years strong and still going. Powered by Grand Bahama Power, fueling the future with scholarships and new opportunities.
I'm Leanna Johns. I'm from LAS, and I want to say thank you to Grand Bahama Power and to Buckeye for giving us this opportunity.
I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Grand Bahama Power Company and Buckeye for providing us the opportunity to get a scholarship.
The Battle of the Brains, where school pride meets genius.
Your number 1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Raven Davis. Thanks for watching. A look at the Bahamas Tonight is on your screen. They're coming your way next.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, marriage counselors weigh in on the country's declining population marked by fewer marriages, increasing separations, and a shift in faith patterns. Also, a preliminary debrief and evaluation of Oscar's impact on Inagua as officials shift into recovery mode in hopes of swiftly meeting needs. And political leaders continue trading barbs about the Bahama court battle as a former prime minister renews his calls for a commission of inquiry while the government cautions against talking down the country. Details ahead. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. A declining population. That's what the Bahamas is up against based on the findings of the latest census, which pegs that number at 398,165 with an average annual growth rate, the lowest it's been in the past 52 years. That number pegged at 1.2%. According to the 2022 report, more residents congregated to the Berry Islands, New Providence, Acklands, Bimini, Eleuthera, Exuma, Harbor Island, Cat Island, and Andros. And believe it or not, despite being one of the smaller islands per square mile, the Berry Islands percentage increase actually outpaced New Providence's by 3.7 percentage points. Moreover, there were fewer population numbers recorded on Grand Bahama, Abaco, Crooked Island, Inagua, Long Island, San Salvador, Rum Cay, and Spanish Wells, Eleuthera. The largest decrease, though, was in the southern Bahamas on the islands of Mayaguana and Ragged Island. Statisticians credit births, deaths, and migration as the main components of the population shift. Another significant factor of the 2022 census was the 10-year change in the country's marital status, which decreased from 99,744 people in 2010 to 97,301 in 2022, a decline of 2.5%. However, all other marital status categories saw increases.
The never married group increased from 226,028 persons in 2010 to 267,201 in 2022, an 18.2% increase. Also, the widowed marital status group increased from 10,768 persons in 2010 to 11,660 in 2022, which is a 8.3% increase. Additionally, the divorce category increased 11,452 persons in 2010 to 13,321 persons in 2022.
Now, the findings of this recent census only amplifying the conversation about relationships and marriages, and more importantly, how to make them work. Corval Pyfrom has input from a few marriage counselors.
Decreasing marriages, increasing separations, and divorces are both harmful to the family unit and society, say these counselors. Dr. Tamalia Gibson is a clinical psychologist. Together with her husband, Pastor Matthew Gibson, they work with married couples to help strengthen their unions. News that marriages are on the decline has her concerned, but not completely surprised.
But we don't think about how do I instill the skills now that I need to prepare for a healthy, long, happy marriage.
Pastor Brown believes there is one main factor driving this trend.
A lot of people don't realize that. They think that infidelity tears up a marriage. They think that money is one of the tears up a marriage, but one of the biggest and one of the strongest factors is the breakdown of communication.
Apostle Utah Taylor Rule also counsels couples. He says issues with finances seem to hurt relationships most, but he's calling on couples to get closer to God.
We will continue to see combustion or breakup in marriages. We will see a lot of separations because we are doing it our way and not God's way.
He worries about this data's overall societal impact.
I think what we need to do is we need to focus on the family and not focus on the gender. Don't focus on the male, don't focus on the female. Focus on the family. The rate, even those who I come in contact with daily or who reach out to me for counseling, it seems so many marriages are in trouble. They're legally separated or not legally separated, just holding on by a thread.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Pyfrom.
Meantime, a breakdown in the nuclear family leading to a serious shift in dynamics at the Department of Social Services, giving rise to an increasing number of people requesting assistance with food and temporary shelter. In the case of the latter, the figure is said to have doubled within the last 3 months of July to September. But according to Assistant Social Services Director for Community Support, Shirley Kelly, what's equally disturbing is a new development in recent years. Men between the ages of 40 and 60 years are applying for help.
I feel that sometimes a lot of men are going through various challenges in their personal lives, and sometimes men may not really can't properly handle the stresses and the strains that life will have to put on them. And so this is where we see persons coming in actually for shelter. And so some of the men may have made decisions in their lives where they've had challenges with maybe drugs or alcohol and made some choices, and maybe they might have relationship problems with their families, etc. And so then they're caught at an age where they cannot seem to handle the stresses of life, and so they turn to us. Some of them are working, and most of them are not working.
Now, as for the department's food assistance program, clients have a 1-year grace period. In the case of a single person, that's $92 a month. For a person with a family of up to 5, that figure, of course, climbs to $208.
When you talk about persons who are working, a lot of the persons who are working make minimum wage, like was mentioned earlier, and also you have persons who may have a government job or a job in a private firm, but their salary is completely maxed out. Bahamians live a really good life, if you say it like that. They like to have a car, they like to have things. That's us. So you have persons who would have gone to the bank to purchase furniture, to buy a car, to add other things to their house just for decoration, or to take a vacation, or to buy school supplies or whatever.
We're going to shift our attention now to Oscar. Government officials on the ground today assessing the damage the Atlantic's smallest recorded hurricane left in its wake. Devontae Hanna and his cameraman Victor Adderley are on the island for us. Here's that story.
Tonight, Matthewtown and Nago were spared from major damage caused by Hurricane Oscar.
Now the work of full recovery begins.
This is residents had less than 24 hours to prepare for the Category 1 storm with winds of up to 80 miles per hour. The brunt fell early Sunday morning.
About 3 o'clock, the rain came hard and we were hearing thunder, lightning. So looking outside, there was nothing you could see, other than the rain going and it's dark. I hear the whistling and the train. And I don't know if you see on social media, TikTok, when they're showing these little tornadoes and these funny sounds they're having. We actually was hearing that. And I'm like, boy, this is crazy.
The Disaster Risk Management Authority considers the damage level 1. This as Island Administrator Gilbert reported flooding in several areas and minor structural damage.
We addressed about 169 homes. Out of that, you had roughly about 92 of those homes had roof damages done.
Some even left to evacuate their homes, like a teacher, according to the principal of the local comprehensive school. And by the end of the storm, the shelter's population was at 21.
She had some water coming into her home, and she was able to resort at the doctor's residence, which is next door.
The residents say even after the storm passed, they got torrential downpour, especially here in this area that caused it to flood out. Now, they say that some residents could reportedly be trapped inside their homes behind this area. So what they decided to do was get this 6-inch water pump to pump the water from this area and send it out into the sea. They say that they've been doing this process since the passage of the storm. And to clear up an area, it can take about 3 days.
Sunday after the wind stopped, it was just rain until Monday about midday. This is our third spot. 2 other sites I believe they will take you all to, and you will see what we dead there.
With the island's power and water supply fluctuating, the minister responsible for disaster preparedness, the Honorable Leon Lundy, is pleased to find only minor damage on the island following what meteorologists called a surprise storm.
No lives were lost, and although some properties have been damaged, the preparation and quick response allowed residents to evacuate or seek shelter in a timely manner.
Hurricane Oscar has now dissipated into a tropical cyclone. A subsequent all clear has been given for the islands of the central and southeastern Bahamas. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
Now, ahead of today's assessment, the Disaster Risk Management's response to the storm and effort to keep residents impacted safe, detailed in the House of Assembly. With that angle, we go now to our Carla Palmer.
Our actions were strategic, coordinated, and focused on ensuring that every possible measure was taken to protect lives and property.
Proud as a peacock of a job well done is how the minister responsible for the Disaster Risk Management Authority, DRM, the Honorable Leon Lundy, is feeling, having led efforts before and during the passage of Tropical Cyclone Oscar. The DRM, he says, was quick in its response and calculated in its actions with one objective in mind: saving lives.
We acted immediately, Madam Speaker. Within hours, the DRM Authority had mobilized its technical teams and issued our first public alert, placing Mayaguana, Crooked Island, Acklins, Long Key, and Inagua under a tropical storm warning. We did not wait. We did not hesitate, Madam Speaker. We held a meeting at 1:30 p.m. with island administrators and other key partners and ESF personnel to discuss the storm and its threat to the southern islands. By 3 p.m. that afternoon, the warning had escalated to a hurricane warning for the southeastern Bahamas. Our team moved swiftly. The Southeastern Incident Command Center were activated. The National Emergency Operations Center was partially opened, and by 6:30 p.m., we briefed the nation along with the acting Prime Minister through a press conference at the DRM Operations Center. Throughout the night, we remained in constant communication with the island administrator and his teams.
From the moment a tropical storm was formed near the Bahamas, Minister Lundy says the DRM was on high alert.
Shelters were prepared and local disaster plans were set into motion. Together, we ensured that no island was left behind in our preparations. This is not where our efforts ended. Late Saturday, the DRM leadership met with a team from SuperValue to procure relief items for potentially impacted islands.
Those items of hygiene kits, non-perishables, and water were distributed to residents on impacted islands. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
At Commonwealth Bank, we offer affordable and flexible choices to get you back to financial fitness. Our personalized debt consolidation solution is built to fit any financial situation. One easy-to-handle monthly payment reduces your monthly expenses and gets you back on track to savings. Life is great when you're not weighed down by debt. Consolidate and live your best life with Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking services.
With our KFC Bucket Meals with larger, large size. Get the KFC Family Bucket featuring 8 pieces of juicy chicken family fries and 4 biscuits that feeds 4. A KFC Deluxe Bucket with 10 pieces of delicious chicken, 2 larger sides, and 4 biscuits that feeds 4 to 6. Or a KFC Party Bucket with 15 pieces of our chicken, 3 larger sides, and 6 biscuits that feeds 6. And we'll handle the dishes, plates, and utensils included, so you can lick your fingers and reach. KFC knows value, and it's finger licking good.
With BGC's crystal clear mobile service, stay connected seamlessly, whether on land or at sea. Our reliable postpaid plans keep your loved ones closer, no matter where life takes you.
From paradise to paradise, Bahamas Air invites you to embark on a seamless island journey from the sun-kissed coast of Nassau, the Bahamas, to the rhythmic shores of Montego Bay, Jamaica. Soar high above a turquoise tapestry on the most trusted airline in the Caribbean. Our inaugural flight takes wing on November 17th, 2024. Don't delay. Book your idyllic escape today.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
You're looking at a shot of Marlborough and West Bay streets near the British Colonial Hotel. Welcome back. Former Prime Minister, the Most Honourable Dr. Hubert Minnis, continuing his calls for a commission of inquiry into the Davis administration's handling of crime and now most recently the Bahamar project. He's now calling on the government to publicly address the recent U.S. court judgment siding with the project's original developer, Sarkis Ismailian. Last week, a U.S. judge awarded Ismailian more than $1.5 billion for what the court determined Ismailian lost after his deal with the China Construction America company to develop the Cable Beach property tanked back in 2015. Now, the matter, the former prime minister argues, is damaging the country's reputation.
Well, I've said before that we need a proper independent investigation. I think we need a commission inquiry to look. The Bahamas is getting a black eye. Getting a black eye over this entire event. The Bahamas we need to sit down and we need a purging. We need to reset the button. We need a purging so that we can reset the button and move forward. A new Bahamas.
Acting Prime Minister, the Honourable Chester Cooper, responding directly to the former Prime Minister, cautioning he and the opposition against talking down the Bahamas. Mr. Cooper maintains investor confidence in the Bahamas remains high.
Foreign direct investment is good for the growth of our economy, and it's good for the Bahamian people. And therefore, anyone who seeks to talk down the economy is not acting in the best interest of our country.
Shifting our attention now, a 66-year-old woman reportedly fell overboard from a Taylor Swift-themed Royal Caribbean cruise ship off the Bahamas Tuesday night. The U.S. Coast Guard reporting this afternoon that it was suspending its search. The agency assisted the Royal Bahamas Defense Force in the search for the woman who fell from the allure of the seas around 9:40 p.m. when the ship was about 17 miles north of Nassau. The Coast Guard sent an HC-144 airplane crew and an MH-65 Dolphin helicopter crew from Air Station Miami. Well, the National Insurance Board to host the 32nd Caribbean Community Heads of Social Security Organizations meeting October 28th through November 1st. Chairman Philip McKenzie says it's no coincidence the board is spearheading the event on its 50th anniversary.
It is a deliberate demonstration of how our rich legacy over the past 5 decades fuels our commitment to driving Social Security innovation and policy in the future, both locally and across the region. Our involvement in these discussions is especially important as issues such as climate change, shifting demographics, global pandemics, and rapidly advancing technology continue to pose significant challenges to Social Security systems.
Co-chair Dr. Tammy Francis says the 5-day event promises a wide range of activities for local and international attendees.
A robust agenda is planned, including workshops designed for Social Security professionals and high-level closed meetings and the annual business meeting for attending delegates. Together, we are working to ensure seamless arrangements for transportation, security, travel, media coverage, IT logistics, and hospitality, all aimed at delivering an efficient and impactful experience for our regional counterparts.
Stay with us on The Beat is after the break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
$10 deal. Available only at Marco's Southwest, Prince Charles, Village Road, and Robinson Road. Fine. Let me see what it's about. I'll take 20 of those, please. Wait. You good? Yeah, bro. Marcos, get this new deal. Get yourself a large one-topping pizza for only $10. $10? Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome. Hey, I need 30 of them $10 carry-out pizza deal, please.
One of the biggest decisions you will make when remodeling a kitchen is the design choice for your kitchen cabinets. Whether you want your kitchen to look modern or traditional, the Casablanca White Shaker cabinets will make a sound choice. Stop into Conard Bahamas today and let them enhance your kitchen with the Casablanca White Shaker cabinets. At Conard Bahamas, they also carry an array of Calacatta quartz countertops. Conard Bahamas, Sandy Port Nassau, Freeport Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Eleuthera.
A decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
If you plan on purchasing a Japanese car online, beware. Officials sounding the alarm over a disturbing uptick in fraudulent activities. Desmond Saunders tells us more in this week's Consumer Choice Report.
Bahamian consumers now the target of scammers purporting to be legitimate representatives of Japanese vehicles, a disturbing trend that has officials at the Bahamas Customs Department concerned. Chief Customs Officer Alban Roll.
There's a new practice whereby persons in Japan would send persons in the Bahamas advertisement on their WhatsApp phone. And once they get those WhatsApp, they contact with the agent, and then they send funds to the agent, and that's when we find that we have money sent and car doesn't come, and then the Bahamian persons just lose their monies.
7 cases of fraudulent transactions have been reported to Customs and Police so far for the year. The Customs Chief advising residents to remain vigilant to avoid significant financial losses.
What we advise people to do is to go back to the old practice where you go online, register with one of the major Japanese sites. That way you're more safeguarded. As opposed to the WhatsApp, you send your monies and the person can delete their phone number and no contact.
It also helps to retain all receipts, documents, and communications of transactions. Remember to use secure payment methods when purchasing your vehicle online. When in doubt, verify or cancel And if a purchase seems too good to be true, chances are it's a scam. And fact check everything before making payment on any goods or services.
Go on the major site, register with their company, then they would choose a car that's less than 10 years old. Once they choose that car, they will get a pro forma invoice, which they can take the pro forma invoice to the bank or do an online payment. Once they've done that and the payment is successful, the vendor in Japan will now send them an email showing them that the payment was accepted, and then they will in turn now send them original documentation. They'll get a space on the vehicle vessel to have the car shipped. And once the car is shipped and it arrives, you just get a custom broker and let them prepare your documentation for clearance.
Desmond Saunders, The Bahamas Tonight.
And that very same Desmond Saunders is sitting in for our Marcellus Hall alongside LaDon Davis. Both of them will give us a sneak peek of Access Now.
Makasla, Black Friday is just a month away, but let me tell you, all I keep hearing is deals, deals, and more deals. I'm sure you're excited about deals as well. But I have Desmond here. I know, Desmond, you're interested in saving money. Because Leno, they're going to be here later on in the show to talk us a little bit more about how we can save money. But just saving money, are you going to be spending?
Well, saving money, something I have to do more of. So I'm looking forward to that segment.
Makasla, I know you're going to be spending, right? You're going to be spending.
Not talking about it. But Desmond seems to be getting a jump start on his New Year's resolutions. But stay with us. The National Report returns after the break.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 95th Terrace, Centerville, and now located in the Lucaya Shopping Center of Freeport, Grand Bahama.
Fashion was something that I've always loved. I always, as a child, loved to see women just impeccably dressed. But my thing was drawing the looks and mixing colors, and fashion was in my blood. I put my personality into my passion. Well, the Fabric of Hope was inspired by my father. My father had cancer, and I would go with him to treatments and seeing everybody just look despondent and dreary. And I was like, wow, like God, like, I'm only a fashion designer. Like, what can I do to assist these people? I know God had me to create it to inspire persons with cancer or any illness that there's hope. It's been in my heart for a couple of days to speak to the older women who may feel that I'm 40, what can I do? I'm 50, what can I do? And that's when the fire in us kicks in. So take that idea that God has given you and put it to use. This is where it all begins.
Empowered women empower women.
And that does it for the National Report. But stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
Announcement is brought to you by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training. Mathematics is a subject that for many comes with anxieties. A recent 10-year review of the results of the GLAT indicates a national underachievement in math. To improve the teaching and learning of math throughout the country, the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training recently signed an agreement with Sapphire Education and Communication Development Services, a Bahamian math consultancy firm. The firm will conduct a study over 1 year to discover the root of the challenges and to find necessary solutions. Every child deserves the best opportunities to excel. The This public service announcement was brought to you by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
Speaking at a graduation ceremony for lifeguards in Exuma, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable Chester Cooper, brought attention to the importance of trained lifeguards, not only for the safety of beachgoers, but also for the security of the nation's #1 industry.
So let me say that yes, this is a job for some, but for others it's a recognition that we must protect our residents and our tourists. And oftentimes the motivation is to place you in jobs in the tourism industry. But I want you to recognize that we are also looking to see how we can place lifeguards on public beaches. Certainly in New Providence, you have the Junkanoo Beach and the Goodman's Bay that attract tens of thousands of visitors a year. And I know that we have some very popular beaches here as well, especially during the busy season, including the Tropic of Cancer and Jolly Hall Beach, and of course Big Bay and Forbes Hill, and a few others. And we must look to see whether this is feasible as well for our own beaches. So this is more than just a job. It's about enhancing the safety and security of our visitors. And importantly, it is about saving lives. But beyond that, it's about protecting the integrity and reputation of our country. I congratulate you and urge you to continue to go higher, press forward, and always keep sending the word that tourism indeed is everyone's business.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
Giving him flowers sooner than later. Kalina makes a special presentation to former Prime Minister, the Honorable Hubert Ingram. Special moment there.
Plus, the Miles Monroe legacy is still with us. Details straight ahead.
Well, it's Wednesday, which means, LaDon, it's time for Wealth Wise by Leno. Can't wait for that.
And coming up in sports, girls like soccer too. Our Charles Fisher has the scoop on that.
Tonight Access Now starts now.
Well, good evening. I'm Desmond Saunders, filling in for Marcellus Hall.
And I'm LaDon Davis. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now. I also want to welcome Desmond, who will be with us until next week, Monday, while Marcellus is on a special assignment. So good to have you, Desmond.
It's glad to be here, and it feels kind of cozy in this studio.
It's very,
really
very
nice.
Cozy. I'm
Thanks
sure you're going to have a great time.
Yes, I will.
Have a great time. Let's get right into the news.
Well, Kalina Insurance Limited has generously donated several copies of volumes 2 and 3 of I Say What I Mean What I Say, Hubert Ingram, in his own words, to the University of the Bahamas, as well as a library of UB North Grand Bahama. The books are units of a 4-volume series. Kalina donated copies of Volume 1 to Newbie facility in 2022.
We heard that volumes 2 and 3 were available. We wanted to likewise ensure that the university campuses in New Providence and Grand Bahama had copies available for their students and general library patrons.
This collection will be housed in our Special Collections Department, and I'm sure it's going to be of great use to our faculty, staff, and students and other researchers from around the world. And we say thank you to Kalina for sponsoring this donation this morning.
Great memoirs there by the former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Hubert Ingram. LaDon?
November marks the 10 years since the passing of Dr. Miles Monroe and several other prominent leaders and members of the Bahamas Faith Ministries International in a tragic plane crash that day, though devastating, marked a turning point for those at Bahamas Faith Ministries. The birth of the Legacy Month, Pastor Dave Burrows, co-founder of BFM, shared the significance of this month.
Legacy Month is the recognition of a significant milestone in the journey of Bahamas Faith Ministries, signifying 10 years since we lost our visionary leader, his wife, and 7 others in November 2014. We pause at this time to reflect on both the loss and the legacy of our founders and associates, to give thanks for the strength and faith that has allowed us to survive, and to continue to thrive moving forward with the vision entrusted to us.
The Legacy Committee outlined plans for this year's Legacy Month, which will honor their memory while inspiring a new generation of leaders. Since Dr. Monroe's passing in 2014, Bahamas Faith Ministries has grown even stronger under the leadership of Senior Pastor Dr. Dave Burrows, who highlighted the significance of this year's milestone. Member of the Board of Governors, Dr. Kendall Major, shared how BFM turned tragedy into triumph.
Since then, we have not only moving from a point of sustenance, we have thrived based on where we are as a ministry. And what Pastor Biles in his life and what he embodied, transforming followers into leaders and leaders into agents of change, that message still resides in each of us. And so we decided and be committed to fight.
This year's Legacy Month will be held under the patronage of Her Excellency, the Governor General of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Dame Cynthia Pratt, reflecting both its national importance and the profound impact of Bahamas Faith Ministries on the world stage. And still to come, it's Wednesday, so it's time for Leno Corporate Services Wealthwise, so keep it locked.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Whether you're crossing borders or navigating busy airports, with BTC's reliable data roaming, you're always in touch. In a fast-paced world, staying connected is key. Don't miss important moments. Stay connected effortlessly with BTC, wherever your journey takes you.
I've been shopping JBI Healthy Choice Coconut Milk for years.
And I've been using the JBI jerk seasoning for quite some time now, maybe about 4 years.
And whenever I get my JBI jasmine rice, I love to pair it with the JBI kidney beans. I've been using JBI kidney bean with coconut milk for about 10 years.
I enjoy using the JBI product. I love the green pigeon peas, especially on a Sunday when I have to cook that family meal. I've been using it now for a few years. My family love it, and we all enjoy it.
I normally make my own jerk, but this is the next best thing.
Try JBI. And I want to wish you a happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, JBI.
Thank you, Bahamas.
Don't get tricked this Halloween. Treat yourself to the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Rainbow corned beef, 12 ounce, $2.15. Nesca yellow grits, 1 pound, $1.39. Kraft mayonnaise, 30 ounce, $6.99. Sweet strawberries, 1 pound, $5.99. Chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, $1.19 per pound. Wrap up October with the scary good prices at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Hey, it's Spa Week. We got what you need. Sit back, relax, and come in for a treat. We just wanna make you smile. We will go the extra mile at Baha Retreat Spa.
Come visit us at Baha Retreat Spa on East Bay Street. Contact us at 323-6711 or visit us online at www.baharetreat.com.
Well, you're looking at a live shot of vessels at the yacht club there. That is a drone shot by our trusty drone pilot, Neville Smith. Good shot, Neville. And let's head on down there to the islands to see what's happening there.
Family Island News is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited.
Well, the Kid Island Business Outlook scheduled for October 31st, just next week at the Eris Monker Resource Center and Library. This year's theme is Future Kid Island Branding, the National Identity, Planning for Success. The conference will showcase a diverse group of speakers dedicated to enhancing the future of Kid Island, Rumkey, and San Salvador. Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, will deliver the keynote address. Other speakers on the lineup include Latia Duncombe, Director General of Tourism, Tracy Boucher, Vice President of Engineering at Rev Alive, and Anthony Christie, Chief Operating Officer at Bahamas Power and Light, to name a few.
Thanks a lot, Desmond. Well, credit cards have become an everyday part of our financial lives, offering convenience and flexibility. But for many people, the ease of swiping a card can lead to mounting debt that's hard to manage. Tonight, financial advisors at Leno Corporate Services break down what you need to know about credit card debt and what you can do to stay on top of it.
Credit card debt can sneak up on you quickly. While they can be a useful financial tool, if not managed properly, they can lead to long-term debt. One key to understanding credit card debt is knowing how interest is calculated.
Here's where it gets complicated. A lot of times, what persons don't realize is that when you do not pay off your balance in full, that interest, that high interest, is charged on that balance. And what can happen if you're not managing it properly, you can actually pay more in interest than you actually borrowed from that institution. Second point is not looking at or only paying the minimum amount. A lot of credit cards come with this great feature. You know, it comes, you owe $1,000, but you only have to pay $50 a month. While it might sound tempting, that is actually not a good thing. What's going to end up happening is the payment is going to take longer than it should, and you're also going to increase your debt levels over time.
Another effective strategy is avoiding owning too many credit cards and spending more money than you actually earn. Understanding how credit card debt works and taking proactive steps to pay it off can help you avoid financial spirals and get back on track towards your goals. You can also track your spending, pay as much as you can towards your balance, and save for emergencies. For the Bombs Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
Some good advice there from Leno. Let's see what's coming up in sports.
Coming up in sports, the Eva Hilton Shockers, two-time public primary school champs.
We here at Candid Security offer a varied range of security services, including guard service, we do armored service, we do pre-employment investigation, background checks, also vet people for employment. A live business posted PBX is extremely important to our operation. I don't have to be in my office. I can easily get connected with our clients, my vendors, my NASA office, and with our employees in the field, anytime, anywhere.
Bahamas, are you ready? Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group, along with Alpha Sounds, present the best of the best. Raking Strafe Explosion Reloaded. This is the biggest one-day all-Bahamian concert of the year. Featuring KB, D-Mac, Abby, Mama D, Fan Sean, Shine 242, The Falcon, and more. Mark your calendars. It's going down November the 2nd at Super Club Breezes Ground. Tickets now available at BahamasEtickets.com or both Beauty Shack locations. General admission $60. VIP, Skybox, and Skypods also available. For more info, call 394-0819 or email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Experience the magic once again with more legends for one night only. Come party with us November 2nd at Best of the Best. Raking Strafe Explosion Reloaded.
Car insurance, home insurance, marine insurance, this insurance, that insurance. The truth is, you may not like it very much, but you need insurance, and it has to work for you. That's why Summit insurance policies are designed with you and your life in mind, fitting your lifestyle and needs perfectly. So you can rest comfortably knowing that your car, home, boat, and business are well taken care of. Contact our agents at Insurance Management today. Summit Insurance. We peak above all others.
Hey, are you looking to save for a big purchase or occasion? Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Bond, the Bahamas Government Savings Bond, and I am guaranteed to earn interest on your money with terms ranging from 1 to 6 years. Government savings bonds are safe, and for as little as $100, you can start to save for your future. My name is Bond, the Bahamas Government Savings Bond, and I'm available to any Bahamian, guaranteed. Go to the Central Bank website and search savings bonds for more details.
The Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting is partnering with the Bahamas Christian Council to help build stronger Bahamian families.
I believe that our ultimate experience in living begins with God and family.
Our purpose is to facilitate, guide, inspire, and equip you to have a better life.
And a strong family foundation begins with each of us trying to become better individuals. Let's unite
for a stronger Bahamas.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, the heartbeat of the nation, leading Bahamians from dependency to self-sufficiency to economic empowerment.
Strong family bonds provide a crucial support system, often filling the gaps that might otherwise lead to reliance on social assistance.
If we get the family structure support system right, you won't see adult children willingly putting their parents in senior citizens' homes. You won't see anyone putting children up for adoption. We should be the safety net for when the family begins to have some challenges.
Addressing the root causes of dependency is essential, as our goal is to shift the focus from merely providing aid to fostering self-reliance.
We must be prepared to move persons from dependency to self-sufficiency to economic empowerment. And I'm asking the public to join us on this journey.
This has been the Heartbeat Brief, an inside look at the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting.
Total Sports Report is brought to you by the 6th Caribbean Baseball Cup. 6 days of high-level competition, October 23rd to 28th.
Everybody, and welcome to sports on this wonderful Wednesday. I'm Charles Fisher, pinch hitting for Marcellus Hall, who's covering the Caribbean Baseball Cup right there at the Andrew Rogers Baseball Diamond. And a few blocks up the road, yesterday was exciting with the New Providence Public Primary Schools soccer tournament. It was complete domination by the girls of Eva Hilton as they kicked around their opponents, finishing off the tournament undefeated and winning their second straight title, 3-1 over Sunderland's Primary for the second year in a row. It was their third championship in the last 4 years, led by the trio of Janaya Moxie, the top goalie, most goals scored, Kalia Thompson, and MVP, Georgia Delancey.
I feel great. It feels good to win because it's my last year in this school and I wanted to win first place and bring my school the dub.
What about you?
It feels awesome to win. I am very proud of my team members and everybody who I was with to play this game, and this is also my last year, so I'm happy that we won 2024.
Same thing as she said, is our last year and my last time playing soccer for primary school. So I'm very happy, and I'm very happy for my team because without them, I wouldn't be able to win this championship.
What a feeling for Coach Zindora Munnings.
I must say I got to give it up to each and every one of these players here today. Everyone played and did an important job today. They defended, they were offensive, and as well as they worked together as a team. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Stay tuned in the Bahamas tonight at 11 for much more reaction from the girls' win. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
The The ZNS Total Sports Report has been brought to you by the 6 Caribbean Baseball Cup. Get your tickets now, online or at the Andre Rogers Stadium.
Even the goblins and ghosts know who saves you the most. It's Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Distinction Evaporated Milk, 14-ounce, $1.19. Ginger Evans Flour, 5 pounds, $3.69. Iceberg Lettuce, $1.99 each. Boneless Chuck Roast or Steak, $8.99 per pound. Crystal Falls Spring Water, 24-pack, 16.9 ounces, $7.99. Wrap up October with the scary good prices at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Hey, Mom, can you look after Kaylee?
Sorry, I'll be out for a while doing my home and car insurance.
What? You know there's a newer way, right?
A new way?
Where have you been?
Look, go to newerinsurance.com, log in, get your quote, buy your insurance, done. You can even use it to manage a claim. Oh? By the way, it's not newer. It's N-U-A. Where's she been?
Do it anyway with NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant back again with another episode on the do's and don'ts at the service station. Let's go. What you ain't gonna do is just pull up to any dispenser and put the nozzle inside your car without reading the signs. Because if you put the wrong fuel inside your car and the car mess up, you could be mad at us, all right? And then you have to walk or catch bus for about 3 to 18 months. What you're supposed to do is read the signs. We place signs all over the dispenser to tell you which fuel is which. Because you put the wrong one in your car, say bop, and you could be mad at us. You could be, oh, what happened to my car? No, it's you who ain't read. It say diesel, diesel, one word, diesel. You got up, and you mad at us. Read, that's all you have to do.
I don't know, but what kind of cars is this parking lot? You ain't even know where to park. Yeah, that's no parking. Look at this way. Like, he ain't got nowhere to go. Don't park him. Just don't park him. Yeah, that's handicap. No, man, you can't park him. I ain't gonna be that long. I ain't gonna be that long. Handicap spot, boy, what's going on, dog? I tell you we shouldn't park here now. This way parking, man. I tell you we shouldn't park here. Don't get one of these things. My bar big broke, and he got a sticker inside that say this mod though. We gotta move. This is handicap spot. That's what we gotta move. But we gotta move. Don't. We can move right now. Sorry.
Be considerate. Don't use disabled parking spaces without a decal in your vehicle. This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs. Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the sunshine.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
It's time now for your Access weather forecast and our live weather radar showing just 1 or 2 showers heading towards the Bimini area, and in the tropics we continue to monitor the Caribbean Sea where we anticipate some development by the end of the month. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by a live business where you're always protected during the worst storms. For all areas of the Bahamas tonight through Thursday, those winds are going to be northeast-east, 10 to 15 knots, the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Your low tide that will take place at 8:06 8:06 tonight with a second low tide at 8:03 tomorrow morning. And then on Friday, the northwest and central islands, easterly flow 12 to 18 knots, so those winds will be increasing. Wave heights building 3 to 6 feet over the ocean, so cautious flights go up once again on Friday for the northwest and central islands. Now, the low tide on Friday, that will occur at 9:12 in the morning with a high tide at 3:34 in the afternoon. And for the southeast bombers, easterly winds 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 7 feet over the ocean with caution flags also in place for the southeast bombers. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Perfect man, that's what he was to me. Tall, dark, and handsome, always well dressed. His kiss drove me crazy. Then I noticed that he didn't work. He did nothing around the house, lie around all day. He was so lazy.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But join me at 11 o'clock for a complete weather update. Desmond and Ladon.
Thanks, Basil. And sunshine and some clouds. Sorry in our future, LaDon. I could live with that.
Indeed. Now, you know what else I can live with, Desmond? Finding out what's going on in social media. Let's turn things over to Matea Cunningham with Let's Talk Socials.
What's up, dancers? Welcome back to Let's Talk Socials, and today we're dancing. Well, talking about dancing at least. Today we tackle the trend of the upside down dance. It's simple, really, so keep up with me here. It's typically a dance for couples or best friends. Imagine two people, usually a boy and a girl, the boy standing behind the girl. The lyrics of the song say, I want to turn the whole thing upside down. It's at this point, the man or the stronger of the pair grabs the other person by the waist and literally turns them upside down. Let's look at some successful attempts.
I wanna turn the whole thing upside down. I wanna turn the whole thing upside down.
That's cool and all, but not everyone is successful at this kind of trend. Let's take a look at some much more amusing, unsuccessful attempts.
I wanna turn the whole thing upside down. I wanna turn the whole thing upside down.
Now that we've all had a good laugh, is this something you can see yourself and a partner or best friend successfully doing? I'm Matea, and this has been Let's Talk Socials.
That does it for Access Now for tonight. It's been great.
It's
been
your
great
first
first night.
You had a good first night,
yeah,
Desmond.
It was good.
So
really
you could see yourself rocking with us for another few days.
Another few days. We'll
Another few days. Well, until tomorrow, we're out. Stay tuned for the rundown with Clint Watson. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
The Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting is partnering with the Bahamas Christian Council to help build stronger Bahamian families.
I believe that our ultimate experience in living begins with God and family.
Our purpose is to facilitate, guide, inspire, and equip you to have a better life.
And a strong family foundation begins with each of us trying to become better individuals. Let's unite
for a stronger Bahamas.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, the heartbeat of the nation, leading Bahamians from dependency to self-sufficiency to economic empowerment.
Abuse, domestic violence, suicidal tendencies. Are you being stressed out from these problems? Call the national hotline at 422-2763 or 322-2763. There are trained social workers available 24 hours to help you. Know that you are not alone in this.
Strong family bonds provide a crucial support system, often filling the gaps that might otherwise lead to reliance on social assistance.
If we get the family structure support system right, you won't see adult children willingly putting their parents in senior citizens' homes. You won't see anyone putting children up for adoption. We should be the safety net for when the family begins to have some challenges.
Addressing the root causes of dependency is essential, as our goal is to shift the focus from merely providing aid to fostering self-reliance.
We must be prepared to move persons from dependency to self-sufficiency to economic empowerment. And I'm asking the public to join us on this journey.
This has been the Heartbeat Brief, an inside look at the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting.
It's a joy, to help someone who is in need,
I'm proud to know that we are able to accommodate them with a hot meal, fresh meal, and a well-balanced meal.
A lot of our clients, as you know, it's in the inner city and persons who really include and so much have lost their job. And for whatever reason, 2 months, 3 months, they really don't have anything. You have to have some kind of kindness to do this.
Influenza, or the flu as it is commonly called, is a viral illness that usually occurs between the months October to March. The virus is transmitted from person to person through coughing, sneezing, or talking. Symptoms include fever, cough, headache, runny nose, generalized body aches, and fatigue. There is no specific treatment for the flu, and the symptoms usually dissipate after 3 to 7 days. Because it is caused by a virus, antibiotics are not used to treat the flu. Persons are encouraged to rest and drink lots of fluids. Panadol is recommended for fever and body aches associated with the flu. However, aspirin should be avoided due to the risk of bleeding. To decrease the spread of flu, persons are encouraged to get their flu shot annually and practice good cough hygiene. Additional information can be provided by your community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
What you see on this television station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation. The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, and programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcasted by this television station. The code is available on IRCA's website at www.ircabahamas.bs. To receive a copy of the code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 242-300-8722. Or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Dr. Gale, and I'm inviting you to be a part of a journey where we open the Word of God to receive strength, to receive empowerment from the Scriptures as they have been written. Get your Bibles, get your cup of coffee or your tea, because this journey is gonna be great. This is your day of victory.
We've heard you. We know you're tired of the reruns. We're coming back, bigger and better, on The Legal Brief. I'm your host, Ramona Farquharson. Stay tuned.
How do we get this island of Grand Bahama to continue to bounce back?
We now have to personally own our economy. So again, we have the government, along with the Small Business Development Center, is pushing entrepreneurship, funding.
Excellent.
You know, putting heads in beds is so important for our entertainment industry, and we believe that Grand Bahama has that presence.
How do you get something you've never had? You're going to have to be prepared to do something that you've never done.
At the Office of the Prime Minister, I'm Devontae Hanna. This is ZNS.
The Rundown is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's great to have all of you with us tonight. The country's state of labor at the forefront tonight as officials and members of the Commonwealth Trade Union Congress are expected to rally tomorrow. At issue, unresolved concerns stemming from contract negotiations, as well as challenges regarding the way forward at some entities. Now, we're going to discuss those matters tonight and get a response from the Minister of Labor and Public Service, who's out of country. She'll join us live tonight to respond to those claims from the TUC president, who will be with us. Also tonight, the Bahamas is making a big splash at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Samoa. Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, is leading a delegation to the high-level meetings. And if you don't know where Samoa is all the way on the other side of the world, near New Zealand and Australia. And he's ensuring that the Commonwealth understands the Bahamas' dominance in the region. And, of course, also tonight on this show, the Chef's Table. Yeah, Chef Leslie Dean will join me tonight, and we'll tell you all about this latest initiative and someplace you can go tomorrow to get the best cuisine in town. I will tell you why all the big chefs are going to be there, and they're serving up something special just for you. All of that and so much more ahead on the Rundown tonight. We begin right after the break. Stay with us.
That's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
JBI, lemon and lime.
One of the best products you can find anywhere. This is one of my favorites, and I have lots of favorites at JBI.
This is very rich. I put this in everything, whether I'm baking, whether I'm doing peas and rice, coconut and rice, or you're doing some curry and you want your cream to be in your curry, you could do everything with that.
Oh, I love this with my nice lime. It goes with my tuna salad. When I put that lime and that great food, spicy food I love. So try JBI, lemon and lime.
Try JBI. Happy anniversary to JBI.
JBI to the world.
Thank you, Bahamas.
Welcome back to the Rundown. Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, propelling the Bahamas on the global level at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting on the way in Samoa. Now, he signed a joint communique with Samoa, addressed the Commonwealth Business Forum, and held bilateral meetings with Ghana. As you can see the picture there with him and the Prime Minister of Samoa signing that joint communique. Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, Latre Raming, is also in Samoa. He joins us live tonight. It's obviously day there in Samoa. Good evening, Director Raming. Great to have you joining us on the Rundown. All the way from Samoa.
Thanks for having me, Nana. Thanks for having me. I do apologize for my posture. We are about to start a bilateral with Kenya.
All right, let's get right into it. No problem. We wanted the information more than anything else. Talk to us about what the representation of the Bahamas is making at this Commonwealth Forum. You know, all of the nations from the Commonwealth are gathered. The King would have obviously addressed the forum perhaps by earlier today. Tell us, what representation is the Bahamas making while in Samoa? What are some of the things we can look out for?
I think one of the key issues for the Bahamas is the issue of reparation. It is a very contentious issue between the wider Caribbean and developed countries. The Prime Minister would have met with a sidebar with the Foreign Secretary of the UK. Another issue of obviously climate change. The Bahamas would have signed a number of bilateral relationships with small island developing nations in the Pacific region. This is the first time in our independence that we've had relationship with Pacific countries. We also are going to be focused on the issue of, obviously, the Bahamas candidature for the UN security that's going to be due in 2030, and really reinforce our support for the wider Commonwealth. Of course, there's going to be a vote that's going to take place for new Secretary General, and so that's going to be from one of the African countries. But I think the Prime Minister wanted to reaffirm the Bahamas' commitment to the Commonwealth nation, understanding that the issues. The Prime Minister joined his Majesty the King today with the opening of scholarships for countries like the Caribbean to tackle the urgent issue of climate change.
Now, obviously, we know the Prime Minister is standing tall as we talk about climate change and all those issues, that the Bahamas is punching well above its weight in Samoa. And, of course, as he continues to engage in bilaterals on the sidelines, obviously pushing where the Bahamas stands. Are you satisfied that we are going to get the kind of attention and support that we need as a nation to be able to do what we need to do, particularly in the fight for climate change?
I mean, this is the conversation. I mean, one of the things that the Prime Minister is really putting to the Commonwealth is that, you know, really we have to leverage the collective body of the Commonwealth. I think he was very clear yesterday that the Bahamas played a center role in the issue of apartheid in South Africa. He told them to summon the kind of spirit that overcome issues before. And so there is progress on that front. I think that there seems to be more of an appetite to have conversation around climate justice rather than reparations. And so whilst these two are separate issues, they are as fundamentally important to small island countries, particularly Caribbean countries in the wider diaspora. And so, yes, we're hoping that there is some success around those issues. And obviously, we can say there are some conflicting issues that the Commonwealth have to address.
I know you're away, 17 hours away. It's already Thursday there. You're on the other side of the world. But I know you're still keeping a keen eye on matters that are happening here on the local front, domestic front. Obviously, in the media this week, obviously the concerns with the decision in the courts of the Bahamas. Is the Prime Minister aware of that? What has he been saying regarding that?
So Prime Minister has read the ruling, has currently been reviewing the ruling for the last 2 days. Obviously, the matter sits with the Office of the Attorney General, but the Prime Minister is awaiting a legal opinion from there. I think once there's a legal opinion by the Office of the AG, it will put the Prime Minister in a position where he could make a much more formal conclusion on the matter. Obviously, the chairman of the Conservative Party has offered some commentary on the issue, but the position of the Prime Minister remains that he awaits the opinion of the AG's office, and from there, he will give a formal statement to the country.
Just one final question before you go, and that obviously is there's some noise brewing on the labor front. The Trade Union Congress is expected to meet tomorrow with some of the unions who are expressing some concerns that outstanding industrial agreements have not been concluded. Do you still, is the Prime Minister maintaining that he is open to dialogue with the union and that his administration is still labor-friendly?
Yeah, I think that's one of the hallmarks of the administration, particularly the Prime Minister, that we maintain to be a labor-friendly administration. We believe that our issues could be resolved by sitting on the table. And I think all of those labor leaders have the Prime Minister's direct line. And so where there is conflict or challenges, we have all confidence in the world that the Minister, Pia Glover, is highly competent to deal with these matters. And she knows that whatever resources that are required by the administration, she has the full support of the Prime Minister.
All right, we will be talking to Minister Glover Roll a little later in this show. Director of Communications, Jerry Rodman, thank you for joining us all the way from Samoa, on the side of the world. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Monty.
And still to come, the Trade Union Congress president is here to discuss his concerns about the country's state of labor. And of course, a big event that's planned for tomorrow. Could the unions be getting ready to clap back at the government? We'll talk about it right here at this table. You're watching The Rundown. We're back after this. Stay close.
That's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down. Oh yeah.
Is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Keep the bad king
Let's go. We are going to ensure and make sure that this is your last time here.
It's time to grow your church. Time to extend your message to all the islands in the Bahamas, into the Turks and Caicos Islands, and to the world via the ZNS app and website. It's time to broadcast your church's services on ZNS TV. To help you with that, ZNS has some exciting new packages with very good prices. It's time to call 502-3813 for details.
By giving unconditionally, not expecting anything in return, I thought was a wonderful way of showing this love. And I believe that it is love that truly draws people. And so I thought we could cover a lot more people by feeding. Volunteers, you know, they have truly been sold.
My passion is to help, and I thank God for what I can do through the help of Bahamas Feeding Network.
Are you ready for the hottest sports show on the market? It's called The Timeout, Sundays on the ZNS Television Network. In our first show, 4 decades of sports in the country.
Welcome back to The Rundown. A special good night to all of you joining us in the Lion's Den. Good to have you. I know those of you who are watching also by YouTube and any other social media platform, good to have you with us, especially those who are watching us by cable networks or by BTC. Well, the Commonwealth of Trade Union Congress is one of the country's oldest union umbrellas. Its mandate is to support trade unions to grow and thrive, helping them represent their members and keep pace with the changing world of work. The union also stands up for workers by publishing research and evidence and campaigning for changes to the law and in society. Joining us tonight is the president of the Commonwealth Trade Union Congress and veteran trade unionist, Obie Ferguson. Mr. President, good to have you to The Rundown. Welcome.
It's a pleasure being here with you.
So let's jump right into this. There's so much I want to get to tonight when we talk about unions and the unions that are represented under your umbrella union. You were one, particularly with this administration, when it first came to office, prior to them coming to office, to sign an MOU to build better collaboration. One of the concerns were unfriendly governments that did not kind of sit to the table and work with unions to come up with the best deals for employees. You signed that MOU, and you've been working with government ever since this administration has been in office. Are you satisfied with the dialogue and with the representation and really the air given to trade unions from the administration?
Let me begin by saying that from August 25th, 2021, we made a commitment to assist the government, the PLP government, in becoming the government of the day, and as a result, certain concessions were made. It would not be correct to say that the government hasn't done anything. That is totally irresponsible. That is not correct, because the evidence is in excess of 20-something industrial agreements have been completed. Prior to that, we couldn't even have a meeting with the former government.
But now you've done 28 agreements
that's
in
correct.
3.5 years.
Yes. Okay. What seemed to be the problem? The persons who are responsible to carry out the government desire either not qualify, either they don't have the authority to make decisions, and they seem not to understand the technicality of a collective agreement. So the government gets the blame, obviously, because these persons are purporting to be acting for and on behalf of the government. And really and truly, that is where the problem is. The Prime Minister can't sit down and negotiate an industrial agreement.
There are people for that.
People for that. They come to the table, they have an agreement signed, the terms of that agreement are spelled out. In other words, for an example, you cannot suspend a worker without pay. That is not my view. That is the law. Why do you need to go bring the Prime Minister in to suggest, in effect, that it is the Prime Minister? I know better.
Right.
But I discussed with my colleagues in the TUC, and we have about 41 of them there. And a resolution was adopted by them that we would do precisely what we intend to do tomorrow, around 5:30, 6 o'clock.
What is that? What are you going to do tomorrow?
We are going to allow them to express their concerns that they are having. Each one of them will be given certain timeline. And they have made available, certainly to me, a listing of those items. And after which decisions will be made. I spoke with the Deputy Prime Minister, who's acting Prime Minister today. And he asked me to provide him with the list, which I did. But I made a commitment to the government. I say industrial action, sick out, and all those other things will now become a thing of the past. But what is happening? I wouldn't want to be in the Prime Minister's position because he gets blamed for every single thing.
Correct.
And they are coming to the workers and these negotiators. They see them as the gateway to the PM. So if they come to those meetings and they say, for an example, ain't no money. Well, look, we don't want to go on no strike. That's not the objective.
Right.
We said that's not the objective. But at least, Mr. Watson, we want them to sit down intelligently. Let's assume I owe you $6,000. If I can't pay the $6,000, I come back to you and I say, look, could we agree on a payment schedule?
Right.
3,000 here or 2,000 there. Another couple of months, another 2,000. So the 6,000 would have gone without putting any extra burden on the government.
Right.
But the people who are negotiating, this is where the problem is coming. They are not able to say what the deal is, or even if they say it, they have no understanding of what the situation is. Let me give an example. We suggested, for an example, that the gaming board, you know, to fire those people.
Yes.
The Free National Movement fired them.
Correct.
So it's not the PLP that fired them. So I'm going to make that point very clear. We went to court. We said, look, could we sit down and negotiate? They said, no. We got to go to court. So what did the court do? We won the case for $1,900,000 on something that could have been resolved between the parties.
Correct.
And I'm saying this is where we're having a problem. So really, I sent the Deputy Prime Minister the list that he asked for.
Let's look at some of the things on the list.
For an example, Bahamas Air Traffic, the controllers, they'll be on the air tomorrow. They'll be down to the site at Labor Day. And he's going to be dealing with, they have an issue with access to the road, workforce study reports, salary adjustments, and hazard pay. Those are things that could be negotiated.
I was just about to say, I don't see where there should be any major issue there. Those are things that ought to be addressed and dealt with.
I just find it almost amazing. And I've been doing this for a little bit. But these type of issues, then you have the nurses. They have issues with payments. If you can't pay all the money, sit with the Congress, TUC, with the union president, and let us work something out that is reasonable and understandable. Then you have Customs and Immigration. They're coming out tomorrow.
What are their concerns?
Oh, you have a problem. The public officer, the guy who's the director of immigration, he's not a civil servant. He has a contract of employment, but he's not a civil servant. So if he's demoting, if he's promoting, if he's signing documents, he cannot sign as the registrar or the director, because that can only come to the Governor General. Only the Governor General can fire a public servant, transfer a public servant, demote a public servant. But here you have a director, and he is a contract worker by virtue of some agreement. Those things are not right. When you see something wrong, you have to correct it. Because if you don't do it, it's going to have far-reaching consequences on the economy, because they can sue the government, and the chances are very clear, like what happened at the gaming board. You know what it is for an employer to have to pay $1,900,000? Have you ever heard that in the Bahamas? But when you fail to do that which you ought to do, BEC had to pay $600,000 for firing a guy. They don't know what they're doing. They're pretending to know, and they go to the government and give the government some advice that the government tend to work on. House of Labor. We were told that that ought to have been done at the 50th anniversary.
What is that?
That's the renovation, and they want to bring it up to date. And have Sir Randall Fox, before he died, and this is what he asked me to do, to create a situation where you have legal aid, because right now we don't have legal aid in the Bahamas. Workers have issues. The average man over the hill, he can't afford it. So he wanted a legal aid clinic to be established. Kids would be able to come there in the afternoon, they finish work, they need some help with their school work. What do we have to do better? We gotta help Bahamians. Those of us who are fortunate, right, to have gone to university and all those other things, right? We have to use that power for the little man. The little man makes this country function. I mean, look where we are today. We have tourism working, right? And that's one of the issues. We have tourism functioning. And we're saying we got millions, 9 million here, 8 million. I agree with that. But I know you're not as young as I am. So you would know that we had 56 nightclubs operating in the Bahamas on any given day. The tourists come here, they can see the culture, they can feel it, they can eat it. Today, we have 9 million or so coming in. I went down by the waterfront and I watched 6 o'clock, I saw the ship coming in. You got almost 30,000 people out there. Now, what happened? I just came from Iceland on vacation, right? When I got to Iceland, I go on to see if I can pull the gamble machine. The lady said, we're about 15 miles out, 5 miles. Casino closed. The casino closed. You got to now go on Iceland and do what you have to do. But the point I'm making, yes, they come. The average, I did a study back in when I finished school, 1976. I wrote a paper. The Tribune carried it, editorialized it. I asked the question then. I said, how much do we get from those people who come here 6 o'clock in the morning, and by 6 o'clock that afternoon, they're gone? Where's the culture? What are we doing? How are the Bahamians benefiting? We have to do things, including Bahamians. We're not doing it. And I hear all kind of excuse and all that. Look, there is no way by now, from around 1950, tourism started out. You think we shouldn't have a ship? I go on to Iceland, Denmark, Holland, you name it. And everywhere I went, I tested it. I said, look, I need to go gamble. Well, I don't gamble, but I want to make sure I verify the fact. I'm saying, Mr. Watson, you're a competent journalist in this country. What are we doing for the Bahamians I'm talking about? Because everybody seems to be okay. We are not getting what we're supposed to be getting. My brother is a taxi driver now, thanks to the Prime Minister. And I asked him, I said, how you doing, man? He said, boy, look here. He said, these tourists only spending about $50 to about $70 on that 30,000 that come to the waterfront. Now, yeah, they got the ship carrying them to another key. And they're only paying about maybe a dollar. And the only thing we're getting is cleaning up the garbage. That's what the workers in these islands doing. What happened to Bahamians?
But are we preparing ourselves to be able to take a greater stake in the industry? Because the question will always be, yes, government can provide the opportunities. Yes, government can provide the assistance. But what are we doing as Bahamians to get ourselves involved?
Well, I can tell you, we are trying to do everything we can. But the problem we have, when it gets to Bahamians, we got all kinds of excuse and explanation. I know Nirvana.
Right.
We said, look, could you give us $600,000? We asked them $1 million. Give us $600,000. We would fix it up so when the tourists come in, they can go down there and see a
Bahamian show.
Bahamian show. What is happening now? You got, and I ain't got no issue with Jamaicans or Indians, but there are people in the harbor, they're doing the limbo dance. They ain't coming. They're not coming over town because there's no promotion. Bahamians are not involved. And we can't run a country this way. Why shouldn't we have a ship?
I have argued it a long time. I've said, listen, we have one of the most active cruise ports in the Caribbean. We have some of the most talented people. Why is it that we don't have a local show? I say it all the time. Why do creators and artists in this country have to have a secondary job when we're one of the world-leading destinations for tourism? What is the problem? Why don't the shows work? And I think there has to be a concerted effort to sit down, bring the stakeholders to the table and say, let's find a way to make this last. Too many times we start it, and then after about a year or two, it fades out. And to me, that's not a successful tourist destination if your creatives can't work full-time in the industry. Something's wrong with that.
And that's a part of your culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a part of your culture.
So I believe there has to be a greater definition of focus on that.
Look, every time I get an opportunity, I raise the point because I have a degree. I have a degree in tourism.
Wow.
I wrote a paper in tourism that the Tribune carried as an editorial. The question was, how much of that dollar stays in the Bahamas?
Yeah.
My God, if you can find 15 cents out of a dollar, you're doing well. We can't build no country that way. What are we doing now? Everything is going well. Everybody says, okay, we're up at 9 million. Okay. But Mr. Watson, we have some of the greatest entertainers in this country. I remember right on Bay Street, in the day, they had nightclubs doing shows for the tourists. The tourists come here at 6, they leave at 6. Well, couldn't somebody agree the government could put some money up and allow them to do at least a show, say around 12 o'clock? Say for about an hour and a half, and they go on the ship. At least they had to get a taxi to go there. They had to drink some liquor. They have to eat some food. We are not doing what we're supposed to do. And we're blaming other people.
Yeah.
Look at what's the hotel name there, Sandals and them. The government gives support to all of these organizations. But I ain't seen no Bahamian in the picture.
It's true. I want to get back to the issues you raised with some of the unions as far as the financial concerns, because we realize that the issue here is always government is strapped with cash.
Yes.
Do you believe with all of these investments that are being signed and accomplished, there ought to be a percentage that goes toward the upkeep and the upgrade of our local services? For example, if nurses are complaining they're not being paid the money that's owed to them, can't government ensure that health care is one of the factors that they make sure that when you sign heads of agreements, people, you say, okay, 1% of tax goes towards health services in the Bahamas, because you're going to need upkeep of healthcare facilities to support a lot of these projects that are being built. So it doesn't become a burden on the government or the taxpayer, but the people who are the wealthy who is coming into the Bahamas to invest are able to put funds into what you probably call the nurses fund,
yes,
or the medical fund,
yes,
to ensure that those persons are taken care of and their needs can be met.
I agree with you 1,000,000,000,000%. We had a thing called a fund, and we say, look, this fund should be used when there is a belly up, a company goes belly up.
Right.
It's all over the paper that we're going to get X amount.
Right.
Well, all you need to do is to charge, if it's only 50 cents, over a period, the money will generate, so when the worker loses his job or her job, they can go to this fund and get some kind of assistance. When it gets to Bahamians, we got a problem. I find that amazing. The nurses' issues are very simple issues. Issues like the pension board. We got over $300 million in these pension funds. And the union leaders are not on the pension fund. I mean, what kind of country we building? The wages, the pension is wages.
Yes.
You're only sitting there. So why can't the officers of these unions be allowed to sit there so they know what is going on? I represent the supervisory and managerial people. And if I tell you what that pension fund is, you would probably ask me if my head is right.
Wow.
But the point I'm making, right? Ministry of Labor, the government, as a matter of fact, that's one of our heads of agreement. We said that in the agreement, you know. We said, look, and I thank the Prime Minister for allowing some of these things to become a reality. For the pension, the parties agree that all pension boards and private major health committees shall have equal representation between the employees and the employers.
Wow.
Now, how could that be unreasonable? Because the monies belong to the worker.
Yeah.
But we can't get some of the negotiators the government sent to the table. They come there and they don't have a clue what's going on. So if you see a strike, don't blame me. Don't blame me, honestly. I tried every time it happened. I had to go to Privy Council for Bahamian worker on a simple matter. They want the worker to be classified as an independent contractor when they fire him, but all the time he's working, he's a regular employee. But the day they decide to fire him, they take the position that, oh, he's an independent contractor. I said, well, who provide the utensils that he used? They said, we do. I said, who paid national insurance? They said, we do. I said, is he a part of a pension? They said, yes. I said, well, how could you argue that he's not an employee? I said, isn't he integrated into your workforce? They said, yes. We go on to Privy Council, and it took me about 5 minutes. Privy Council ruled that the Bahamian fella is an employee. These are the kind of nonsense we have going on. And the government is paying these people consultancy fees second to none. And honestly, I don't want to stop nobody from earning a living, but you're frustrating the whole system. Now the government is being put to task on something that they're paying you to do.
So let me ask you, so tomorrow when they meet to express their concerns verbally, to verbalize it to the public, what happens after that?
What happens after that? We have a conclave. A conclave has been organized. In that conclave, if these matters are not met and resolved, or a formula be structured to meet and intelligently, not on a personal basis, intelligently work this out, a decision will be made by the TUC that there will be industrial action. It has to be. Because if you don't want to sit down and talk, you know, what are we supposed to do? Go back to the members and say, look, I'm sorry, I met with this one, and he's saying he got no money. We understand the economy is in bad shape, or don't have enough money, but that don't mean that we can't work something out. That's the point I'm making.
Right.
Nobody, if you ask me for $100 and I don't have 100, I say I have 10, or I have 20. Well, Mr. Watson, why don't you let me pay you this next week? I'm expecting to get X, Y, and Z done. I come back to you, I give you another 50. The point I'm making, there must be an effort. You can't disregard a bunch of intelligent Bahamians, and now we ain't got the average Bahamians that we used to.
Right.
These people are competent, they understand what you're doing, and here we are. I mean, there's a long list, so I don't want to necessarily go through them, but I'll give you an idea as to where we are in these type of issues. We have, I mentioned here with the pension board, the artists, the entertainers of the Bahamas, for example. The foreigners come in, they sing, and they give them a couple dollars. But the union, Mr. Watson, I know you're a clever journalist. Maybe you should take a trial and do some really serious investigation. And you will see what we are going through, what the Bahamians are going through. It's a serious, my office, every day I went on vacation for a couple of weeks. When I come back, I had Coach Smith to take care of business for me. When I come back, in addition to what he would have done, I made a whole bunch of matters on what I call simple matters. I ain't talking about complex issues. They say, okay, take me to court. You go to court, you win the case, you got to go try to enforce it. That costs money.
I've got to wrap because it's going to tell me we're going to a break, but I want to give you the final word, and that is, so the process is tomorrow, they voice their concerns, hopefully there's dialogue to resolve. Yes. If not, you have to resort to industrial action.
That's the program, and the reason why we're doing it this way, because we want to be fair to the Bahamian public.
Right.
They can understand what the issues are. If, for some reason, those matters are not resolved, we will be forced to, and I say forced to, take action. That is something we are not for, but we have to do what we have to do to protect the interests of workers, because that's our job. Our job is to look after the interests of the workers of the Bahamas.
Mr. Ferguson, thank you for coming. We appreciate you sharing that with us. Stay with us when we come back. You heard the Trade Union Congress talk about what they're going to do. We'll talk to the Labor Minister who is out of country. She's going to respond to us live. We're back after this.
That's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down. Oh yeah.
Hardware is the helpful place. Everything you need under one roof, from electrical, paint, plumbing, outdoor, barbecue, automotive, lawn and garden, pet supply, houseware, and seasons. Hurricane season is now here, so for all your hurricane needs, we have a 25% off bargain zone.
Hey, thanks. I would have given more stuff, but I didn't bring my money. I thought this was a club, and I thought everything was free. Finally know what it is now. Ace.
We're located on St. Albans Drive, West Bay Street, open Monday to Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and closed for lunch 2 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Welcome back to The Rundown. The world learning more about the opportunities the Bahamas has generated from the labor sector. Minister of Labor and the Public Service, the Honorable Pia Glover-Roll, is in Bogota, Colombia, attending the Organization of American States Inter-American Conference of Ministers of Labor. Under the theme, The Future of Work in the Americas, laying the foundations for peace, social justice, and climate action, the heads of delegation as well as representatives of workers, employers, and other regional and international organizations will hold discussions around technological innovation and its impact on the labor market, climate action, and of course promoting social justice and peace through job creation and inclusive labor systems. We're grateful that Minister Glover-Roll took time out of her busy schedule to join us tonight from, of course, Bogota, Colombia. Good evening to you, Minister, and thank you for joining us on The Rundown.
Good evening, Clint. It's a pleasure to be on board The Rundown once again.
Great stuff. I want to get right into it because there are a couple of things we want to cover, especially since we're talking about labor tonight. And before I get to the local angles of what we want to touch on, let's talk a little bit about the forum that you are attending. This should serve the Bahamas well. Talk to us about what are some of the major things that could impact labor in our country that you're discussing at this particular forum.
So, Clint, I'm happy to be here at this Inter-American Minister of Labor Conference in Bogota, Colombia, as you would have mentioned. This is a conference that's hosted by the OAS. And our focus is on the future of work. All of that means just transitions. And when we speak about just transitions, we speak about digitalization, we speak about climate change, and we speak about social justice for our workers. All of these components are very important, not only to us in the Bahamas, but of course as a region and as a world as we look to the future of work and sustainability of work.
Obviously, the concern is making sure our labor force is current with what's happening internationally. Where do you feel we stand compared to the trends internationally in the labor and workforce?
Well, it's evident that we stand at the head of the curve. First of all, we have done well as a nation in our tripartite relations. That means government, trade unions, employer confederations. And of course, we've been very strategic in that, in hosting our quarterly meetings with trade unions, in facilitating a labor relations unit that specifically works in tandem with our trade unions and our government and our employer confederations. But more importantly, in ensuring that open lines of dialogue and communication are had with our trade unions, our employer confederations, and the government. And this is all levels of government. This isn't just me as the minister. This isn't just the Department of Labor, but it's even ratcheted up to our Prime Minister and our Deputy Prime Minister, who engage in conversations and dialogue with our unions. So we are ahead of the curve. The Bahamas is leading when it comes to labor in a regional perspective. We've just had our recent legislative symposium in July with the first draft of our white paper that has been produced. And that has also placed us ahead of the curve in terms of labor law reform.
The elections are coming up at this forum. What are these elections about, and where could that possibly place the Bahamas?
So the Bahamas has been nominated as a candidate for the working group on the future of work for the Americas. And that is a big deal because it says that this organization sees the Bahamas as one of the competent nations that is able to lead a working group that speaks to the future of work, that speaks to the just transition, that speaks to our labor legislative reform, that speaks to how we formalize informal labor, and all of the conversations that surround sustainability of labor, and how we also look to build our labor force and fill the gaps through training, through education, and of course through upskilling.
I want to switch now to the local front because TUC is planning a meeting tomorrow or rally tomorrow over concerns, generally saying that government still has not wrapped up a number of contract negotiations. The first question is, where are we with TUC unions and their negotiations? Are they just about complete?
So, Clint, as long as governments and countries exist, there will be challenges to resolve. We, as an administration, are comfortable in the fact that we have resolved up to 90% of our issues in terms of industrial agreements being signed, in terms of a lot of resolutions that were required for unions throughout our country, including the TUC, that had matters that need to be ameliorated. The conversation continues. We have instances where there are matters of fiscal concern that still have to be worked out through our Ministry of Finance. We have negotiations that are ongoing. And once there are negotiations ongoing, there are moments of contention. There are moments where the odds may be against us, but we continue to have open lines of communication. I understand that the TUC has some concerns. All unions have concerns that remain unresolved, but we continue to work on those concerns. As the Minister of Labor, I maintain open lines of communications, not only in our quarterly meetings with our trade unions, but also throughout the quarter. We have our Department of Labor that remains open and accessible, and we have our ministers in various ministries that remain accessible. The important part of tripartism is dialogue, and our government maintains consistent dialogue. We do understand that there are matters that need to be resolved, but we're committed to the cause, and we're committed to getting the matters resolved for the employees who are the members of the trade unions, but who are employees of our government's ministries and public service.
What do you say to people who say this administration overpromised and is now under-delivering? Do you subscribe to that notion that there was an overpromising coming into office and now you're short of delivering?
Absolutely not, Clint. I think that we are doing very well on delivering on the Memorandum of Understanding. We still have 2 years left in our term. There are matters that are, as the president would call undelivered or unresolved, that are still a work in progress, and that are conversations that he has ongoing with myself and the Prime Minister. And we are committed, like I said, to the cause. We are committed to getting the matters resolved. We're committed to continue dialogue, and we are committed to ensuring that the items that we have addressed in our memorandum and even expanding outside of the memorandum are resolved for our unions.
My final question to you simply is, what final word do you want to give to the TUC ahead of whatever meeting or rally they're planning tomorrow? What do you want trade unionists to hear from you tonight as a Minister of Labor?
Well, I'd like to remind all of the members of the trade unions that the Bahamas government, this Davis administration, is working on your behalf. I'm sure that you can see it, you can feel it. We have made great progress in 51 industrial agreements signed. We continue dialogue. Presidents from all trade unions are able to access not only myself as the minister, but ministers across this administration upwards to the Prime Minister. I want to ensure them that many of these matters that they are looking to be ameliorated are decades old. I want to encourage them that we are actively looking to resolve every matter that we can. Some matters are able to be resolved instantaneously. Some matters are able to be resolved in a shorter space of time. And some matters have to be resolved over a longer period because of a process that needs to be engaged or because of the fiscal impact that it has. But I would like to advise members of all trade unions that the Davis administration remains consistent, committed and in solidarity in ensuring that the labor force of our country not only is able to benefit from the good work that we're doing, but that they will feel the effects of this good work in the shortest possible time within our ability.
All right, Minister Pia Glover-Roll, thank you for joining us on the Rundown tonight, and all the best in the elections to get that Bahamas on that committee. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Clay, for having me.
Thank you. And stay with us. More Rundown right after this. Welcome back. Finally tonight, heard about the chef's table yet? You heard about it? Well, a number of chefs, good chefs I'm told, will assemble at Margaritaville for the second time to create curated meals under the theme, A Taste from the World. Executive chef at Margaritaville, Chef Lester Dean, is the organizer of the event. He joins me here at the table to talk a little bit about it tomorrow night. Welcome, Chef Lester. Good to have you.
Thank you, Clint.
Now, for those who don't know, he, of course, is the chef, the mastermind, like call it behind JWB, my favorite steakhouse,
yes.
By the way. And, of course, you do an excellent job there. The quality is consistent,
yes.
And it's always good service there. Tell us about the chef's table. What is it all about?
First off, I'd just like to thank you for bringing me on the show.
Sure.
So the chef table was created about 2 years ago. We did one last year. It was pretty successful. This year is going to be major and way bigger than last year. So it's 5 chefs from Margaritaville and The Point. And we are creating a 7-course menu. And it's called
7 courses.
7 courses.
Man.
7-course menu, and it's themed A Taste from Around the World. So we have different cuisines. We have cuisine from Asia, from France. We have Southwest. We got a Taste of Caribbean. So there's a lot of different cuisines. And it's gonna be a movie, how the young people say.
I'm looking at the flyer now and seeing all of these chefs. These are all chefs who are at, I'm looking at them now, they're all chefs who work at Margaritaville?
Right, yes, sir.
And so their specialty obviously is in the various areas you talked about.
We got various areas, so the 7 courses goes, whereas I will start off, I have the amuse, so it's a course from Italy. And then we have the 2nd course, is a course from Asia. The 3rd course is a course from Paris.
Wow.
The 4th course is Greek. The 5th course is from England.
Wow.
And then we have intermezzo, and then we have a Taste of Caribbean pastry.
Wow.
So
it's a journey across the world.
Yeah, it's a journey across the world, and we almost completely sold out, and it's gonna be a great night. And I really try to make sure that we showcase Bahamians on this platform, and so that's one of the major reasons we tried to do it. And I like just to shout out Margaritaville, The Point, my bosses, for showing us support and really letting us be creative and pushing our name out there, and Bahamian cuisine and just the skills that Bahamians have to showcase around the world. So
I was about to tell you, back in the day, Bahamians used to be assistants.
No.
And they used to be helpers. Now that's changed in the hospitality industry and particularly food and beverage. We see Bahamians who are now leading chefs in the kitchen.
Yes, I am the opening chef for Margaritaville. I opened Margaritaville 4 years ago. We created with my team. We have a lot of Bahamian chefs. We have across the board. And as I said before, it's just to showcase Bahamian artistically and their culinary prowess across the board. And I'm so happy that we have the opportunity to do this. And hopefully next year it'll be bigger and better.
So what is some of the, you're a chef, so what do you think is perhaps one of the greatest tips or secrets that chefs should have in the kitchen that creates that cuisine that people say, oh my goodness, this is absolutely amazing?
I would always say keep it simple. Salt and pepper does a world of things. It don't have to be all the garlic salt and Cajun and all that. Salt and pepper do a lot. But in the cuisine and how I cook, just take chances. I mean, it isn't like pastry, whereas you have to be precise.
Right.
You just take chances. You mix your flavors. Some things you might think won't go, but it actually will. So we do a lot of different things. Like we created a carrot cake pancakes.
Carrot cake pancake.
Yeah, we have it now in Vacation Cafe on the brunch menu. It's off the chain. Everybody like carrot cakes. Everybody like pancakes.
That's interesting.
So that's off the chain. And then you have a oxtail bolognese. Both of those items.
Oxtail?
Oxtail bolognese. Like everybody likes spaghetti bolognese.
Right.
But we got oxtail bolognese.
Really?
And that's just crazy. It's just crazy. So that was saying, so just try to be creative. And Margaritaville and The Point helps us to be creative, and they really don't push down on our creative minds, so that's good for them.
So Chef Table takes place tomorrow from what hours?
Tomorrow, so it's tomorrow at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's $159 plus. It also paired with wines.
So you get the wines to go along with each course?
Each course has a wine.
Nice.
Each course is paired with a wine, and we will come out and explain the dishes and have fun. And we just
it's probably best to make their reservations because you're going to probably be sold out.
Yeah, we close to being sold out at this point. So thankfully for all the people who supported us.
They've probably been there before, they know what to expect.
Yes.
Those who get the last minute seats, where can they go book?
So you could go on Open Table. You go under the restaurant JWB, and then you'll be able to book your time.
It's a great restaurant, I'll tell you that for sure, guy.
Yeah, we try to be.
Thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Now I'm hungry. Officially, I'm hungry at this point. Thank you, man, and all the best tomorrow, Chef.
Thank you.
Great stuff.
Right.
That's the rundown for us, guys. For all of us here at ZNS News, I'm Clint Watson. Thanks so much for joining us. Royston Jones, he's here. I saw him already. He's got the 11 o'clock news. So make sure you're back here at 11 o'clock for all the latest and news and information tonight. For all of us, have a great night, everybody. Good night.
It's time to grow your church. Time to extend your message to all the islands in the Bahamas, into the Turks and Caicos Islands, and to the world via the ZNS app and website. It's time to broadcast your church's services on ZNS TV. To help you with that, ZNS has some exciting new packages with very good prices. It's time to call 502-3813 for details.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is